Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to moderate this important session on Agritech, Agri-Fintech, and Cooperatives, which the theme which basically lies at the heart of the agri transformation and rural transformation in India. Now, if we look at uh, the rural India, more than 80% of farmers are small and marginal farmers who need access and who face challenges in accessing technology, uh, market linkages, and support of the latest innovations that are happening around the world. At the same time, we have a very strong startup ecosystem which is being supported through various schemes, and a large number of startups are now being supported in agri and agri-tech space. As you all would know that IRMA, which is a part of Tribhuvan Sahkari University, has been working with the cooperative sector for more than 40 years. And, the growth of the dairy cooperatives in India, the large support has come from IRMA, which has actually provided the manpower and support for the dairy sector, the Amul and NTDP to grow, has happened because of the support of an organization like IRMA, which has embraced technology, which has embraced innovation, which has allowed it to grow. Now, at the same time, I also had IRMA ICT Foundation, which is basically supporting the social enterprises who work with the people at the bottom of the pyramid and at the same time would want to make profit. So, we understand both the cooperatives and the agri-tech and agri-fintech space. And this panel is basically trying to look at these two domains and how do you bring them together. So, looking at this, we have, Vimal Panjwani from Agrivijay, who is a startup which we supported in one of our programs. He works in agri-tech space. And we also have Mr. Bhatt, who heads Nabventures. He comes with an experience of understanding the rural economy through NABARD, and is also supporting the startup ecosystem, which basically supports the farmers and the rural population through Nabventures. And we can actually try to understand how the cooperatives which are supported by NABARD and the startups which are supported by Nabventures, they are brought together. So we have a very interesting discussion which we look forward to in the next half an hour. I would like to ask Vimal to explain what Agrivijay does and how he's working with the farmers over the last number of years. Over to you.
So thank you, Rakesh sir, and thank you, NABARD and IMI. And I think when Agrivijay was born, we were a small ecosystem in terms of AgTech. Now we have grown to 3,000 odd startups in the space. So Agrivijay, I think, is the only answer to India's Amazon of renewable and green energy products for farmers as a marketplace. We not only understand the energy and agriculture needs of farmers, but we also do complete end-to-end solution providing to farmers, right from recommendation to selling to delivery to finance to installation of anything in solar, biogas and green energy. And it's been 5 years for us in terms of the journey, where we have support from NABARD as an investee under the Climate Change Fund, as well as IRMA on the cap table. And as an ecosystem, we have grown resiliently well. We have been growing at a rate of 105% year on year, where we work with B2C and B2B both. And we turned profitable last year. We also have given exit to early investors. We work at the juncture of where agri-tech and social impact and climate tech meets, because we work in the renewable energy space. So farmers have various needs, whether you talk about solar, biogas, green energy, and there are plethora of products. So farmers are usually aware of 2-3 products like solar water pump or a biogas digester. They are not about aware about innovations like solar sprayer or solar dryer, electric brush cutter, electric tractor in the space. So we educate around the ecosystem to the farmers, because education has not happened over the years. That's why renewable energy is not there at the village level. Even today, the dealer distributor model exists in urban and semi-urban areas. So farmer has to go to a dealer to semi-urban to buy a solar product or any other product. And when he buys, he has to buy panels from somebody else, pump from somebody else, and get it installed from somebody else. And when it comes to after sale service, there is nobody to provide the after sale service. So this bottleneck is solved by Agrivijay, where we are a single platform as an end-to-end solution. And we use AI to educate farmers in local languages like Marathi, Telugu, Gujarati today in terms of education. And we have offline business model, which is our franchisee model, where we call as renewable energy stores being opened by rural youth, rural retailers or women who can actually educate farmers around these technologies, the benefits, and also become viable as a commercial business owners at the village level while earning margins on any product they book at the village level. So this is how we have been working, and we are part of a Government of India startup ecosystem, where we have grown from the ecosystem without the VC funding support, which includes Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog as well. And it is because of the ecosystem which has been created by NABARD and IRMA, where startups like Agrivijay are just not taking birth, but also growing and thriving profitably, sustainably, impacting lives and environment at scale.
Okay, thank you, Vimal. I think I'll come back to you, but before that, I would request Mr. Bhatt to basically talk about how NABARD has been working with the startups and the cooperatives, and also about how Nabventures, the startups that they've supported, are working with farmers and cooperatives at the ground level.
Thank you, Dr. Rakesh. So to start with, I am basically looking after Nabventures, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of NABARD, and in other words, it's a venture capital arm of NABARD. So as you mentioned that how NABARD has been supporting this ecosystem. So right from, I think, 2004, 2005, we have been supporting different funds that we call AIFs, Alternative Investment Funds in SEBI language, so that they can further invest in different agri startups, which is the basic mandate of NABARD. So that was there. Second is, for early stage startups, we have been supporting incubation centers through our different schemes, where the incubation centers, for support, giving some support space for initial space for a startup to work with some mentorship. So some grant flows to incubation centers so that they can support some incubating startups. And further, they can also provide some seed capital in the form of grant or in the form of equity to initiate their work. So that is at early stage. So that is for early stage startups. In 2018, we came up with this subsidiary, Nabventures. We thought that we would take a direct exposure in startup ecosystem. And in 2019, we started our first fund, Nabventures Fund 1, where we directly started investing in agri startups. So over a period of time, 5 years or so, we invested in 19 startups who are working in who are in Agritech, Fintech, and rural businesses, which are again are mandated sectors of NABARD. So the why this was required, if you just I just give you a heads up on the data side, like close to 2 lakh startups are there, registered startups are there as per DPIT data. Out of that, roughly some 12,000 are which are working in agri sector as of now. And even if you look at the tech side, so out of these 12,000 agri-tech startup, close to 4,000 are in agri-tech. So this is just the general data that I got from Tection. So it may be a little bit here and there. So if you see the percentage, it is very minuscule if you see the whole startup ecosystem. Then again, out of these 12,000 agri startups, some 1,500, 1,700 are funded actually. And if you talk about agri-tech startups, so out of, I would say, 4,000 agri-tech startups, some 700, 800 are actually funded. So you see the dearth of funding in the ecosystem. So that's why we thought that because it is traditionally considered risky to invest in agri sector, and because of the inherent challenges in agri sector in our country. So not many people come up to invest in these startups. So that's why the idea came up that, okay, we start investing in a few startups, create some good models so that other investors are also attracted to invest in these kind of startups. Last year, we came up with our second fund in collaboration with Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, that is Agrishore. So it's a hybrid fund where we'll be investing directly in a few startups, and the major part of it will go to other funds who are otherwise not investing in agri startups. So with the condition that whatever money we give to a fund, they have to invest double the money in agri startups so that the multiplier effect can happen and then more money flows into the system.
Okay, so my next question is around how Agritech and Fintech innovations can strengthen cooperatives. Now, here I would like to give an example of what we are doing with the government of Uttarakhand. Government of Uttarakhand has got a program called as REAP, which is funded by IFED. REAP is Rural Enterprise Appreciation Program. So in this particular program, they have basically supported SHGs and federated them into cooperatives. In this federated structure, they have also created what is called as your growth centers, where they have set up small manufacturing units for the cooperatives. Now, we met the IFED and the REAP team a couple of years back, and they said that they're facing issues in terms of uptick of these growth centers. And they wanted some solution from our side. We looked at the problems that they're facing, and we said that, one thing which can be done is, so the problem which was faced by the cooperatives there was the market linkage and, marketing of the products that were being made by the SHGs, cooperatives, and through the growth centers. What we realized was that the farmers and the growth centers were good at the production side, but, taking it to the market was something which they lagged upon. So what we did was we said that we actually have enterprises who work in the value chains that are there in Uttarakhand. We basically looked at 8 value chains where our enterprises could come in and work with them. And we suggested a program which they finally worked with us on. We took 8 enterprises. They created business plans on how they could work with the cooperatives and the growth centers there. And right now, 8 of our enterprises are working with the government of Uttarakhand and the IFED program to support the cooperatives that are there in Uttarakhand. And I believe that this is one way by which we can use the energies and the knowledge of the agri-tech startups, agri-startups, which can actually work with the cooperatives. And it's actually a win-win. The reason being the strength of the cooperatives is production and adding value to the products. And the strength of the cooperatives is largely understanding the market, understanding how to sell, creating a very efficient system where the products can reach the end users. So by this, we were actually able to create a win-win situation. Now, I would actually want to ask the same question to Vikas ji, and maybe he can actually give some examples from his enterprises, how the cooperatives are working with the Agritechs and other startups that are supported by Nabventures and NABARD.
Okay. So when we talk about cooperatives, I would not limit myself to cooperatives only. It's basically the not just cooperatives. It's about FPOs also. It's about SHGs also. Basically, the supporting the people in community mode. So to give them benefit of collectivization and economy of scale. So on one side, there are cooperatives, primary agriculture cooperative societies, which are in the deep rooted in the rural hinterland. In last 10-15 years, again, we have been supporting FPO ecosystem by promoting more and more FPOs, so that because cooperative, primary agricultural cooperative society may be working in a village or a couple of villages, but then FPOs have that opportunity to scale up beyond the villages and beyond the district and even beyond the states. You have the example of Sahyadri. So how these organizations are beneficial for a startup? Let's see that we know that more than 85% of the farmers are small and marginal farmers. So for any agri startups or fintech startups who are working in agri finance sector, so it is imperative to connect to villages to farmers and get the base level feedback, understand their problems so that they can actually find out a solution for them. So now to connect to so many startups, so many farmers looking, given by the diversity of the agriculture in the ecosystem, and then given by the number of small farmers in the villages, it becomes very challenging for a startup to reach out to a large number of farmers. And at this juncture, what happens, like when we have a strong PAX or a strong FPO in the system, so they become a one single contact point for a agri startup to connect with the system. So from that way, in that way, like of course, these packs or these FPOs can act as a bridge between the rural hinterland and of course the solutions given by startups. How we are supporting, like I would like to give you a couple of examples. Like recently we have invested in a company called Fambo. It's a Noida-based company. What they are doing basically, they are connected with FPOs, farmers producer organizations, and they are procuring vegetables from them, most of the vegetables which are used by Horeca chain, likes of McDonald's, likes of Burger King and all that. And then they are processing it in their processing center, and then they are providing the semi-processed material to these Horeca institutions. So in the process, what is happening, for a farmer, it is very difficult to connect to such chains and get the benefit of that marketing available in the system. But then through this, what they are doing, they are giving assured marketing to the farmers through FPOs, because again for them also they need the produce at a volume, at a scale. So to get the volume from individual farmers is difficult. So what they are doing, they are procuring in 5-6 states from FPOs. They have created a supply chain, cold chain, supply chain network through AI-based cold chain setup. And then they have connected them to, through their processing center, they connected them to likes of McDonald's, as I already said. So that is one example. Second is, you might have heard about one banana chips company, Beyond Snacks. So Beyond Snacks, what they do basically, there is a native variety of banana in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, on the border of Kerala. So it's called Nendran variety of banana. So that banana is suitable for a particular kind of chips. Earlier you might have seen banana chips only in that transparent polythene bag sort of thing, but you might not have seen any branded product in that. So what they did, they again connected with the FPOs. They gave them then assured marketing sort of thing. They set up their processing center. Now they scaled up almost up to, they are about to reach over 100 crore. They are exporting banana chips, and they are the only big banana chips brand in the country as of now. So these are two recent examples that I can give. That, and in future also we will try to support those solutions which can get support from FPOs and in turn give benefit to farmers through their solutions.
Okay, thank you. Vimal, my question to you now would be, you have worked with the farmers on, clean energy related technologies. How do you see that working with a cooperative, it can help you scale up better, and also it can help cooperatives and farmers, basically use the technologies for increasing their incomes. And if you have some example where you have actually done this, please do state that.
So at Agrivijay, when we started our journey, we started with B2C. So B2C, serving a B2C for an Agritech startup is actually bleeding, because you are serving one farmer. And that's where we change our strategy, because we were bleeding, and we decided that if we have to grow fast, we need more scale. And that's where we transitioned into a strategy where we started serving more B2B side. And when you start getting orders like 1,000 street lights or hundreds of solar water pumps and hundreds of biogas digesters, you get scale as a business, as a company as well. And also you're impacting more lives at scale as an impact enterprise. And we started experimenting around this, and for this experiment, we also started working with FPOs. As Sir said, FPOs come with a network of farmers, And we did a program with Grameen Foundation where we worked with 40 FPOs in capacity building, which were then connected with 40,000 farmers. And we started converting FPOs into renewable energy stores, because FPOs also are looking for commercial viability in terms of business. And if they are able to take products from solar, biogas, green energy or organic to the farmers, they will also have the benefit. And the program was really successful because we found that farmers were, trusting the FPO owners more because they are connected with them. And when they say that, okay, you can start using solar sprayer or a solar dryer, farmers are going to listen more. And definitely as a company, we will get more business as well. So I think this actually works well when you work with an FPO or a group of farmers. And cooperatives, like even where the SHG groups are involved, I think it really works well. We have just recently also started livelihood generation products in the renewable energy series, where we are now bringing solar agarbatti making machine, solar papad making machine, solar vermicelli making machine, solar milking machine for dairy farmers. So I believe these technologies are there. The use case, the education has not happened. And if we do some projects with cooperatives or SHG groups, it is going to scale, because if there are a group of farmers using the single product, there are likely chances the other communities will follow them and they will use more and more. Because renewable energy, the best part with renewable and green energy is they bring savings from first day. And you have an increased savings either on a diesel genset using operating your shaft cutter or a milking machine, or in even electricity. So there is an advantage. I believe lots of programs or initiatives and projects you will be seeing by lots of agri-tech startups, because if you need scale, you need to grow fast. Cooperatives and SHG groups, FPOs, are going to be the key stakeholders in the ecosystem in the future as well.
So I think very well put up. I see a very strong synergy between the cooperatives, FPOs, SHGs, and the startups who are trying to work in the rural markets. I mean, the only way by which Agritech and startups who want to work in the rural markets, the only way to scale up or have scale is through the cooperative ecosystem. I don't think there is any other way, and I believe this is a win-win situation, win-win strategy for both, and it will create synergies in the market. I mean, I would actually want to put up another example here. We were to have Honeyweda as one of the panelists here. So Honeyweda actually works in honey value chain, and one of the reasons why milk is a very important commodity is because it helps a farmer diversify its risk. Agriculture, if a farmer just does agriculture, it is a very risky business, and it is dependent on environment and market factors. And if there is issue related to rain and weather, the revenues and the profitability of a farmer varies considerably. And if they want to stabilize it, one of the ways by which they can do it is through milk. And I believe that there are other products, other commodities which the farmer can get into, and one of them is honey, which can help them diversify their revenue, diversify their risk, and at the same time increase the productivity at a farm. So if a farmer puts a honey, a honeybee box on a farm, it actually increases its productivity by 20 to 30%. This is something which has been shown by studies. So honey farming is very important from sustainability perspective, and at the same time, it is an additional source of revenue for the farmer. And that is where it is very critical for us to promote honey farming for the farmers. And that is where Honeyweda, a startup which wants to do something for the society and also make profit, is trying to do this. And he again started the way Vimal started. He started working with farmers directly, and he realized that it is very difficult to get scale. It's very difficult to work with individual farmers, and he started promoting and working with cooperatives. In fact, we worked with Honeyweda to set up a honey cooperative in Haridwar. And Haridwar is a place where Ganga flows. So the product that was launched through the cooperative was Madhu Ganga. I think it was Madhu Ganga. So the idea was that there would be a flow of honeybee in Haridwar as well. And when he started working with cooperatives, it was easier for him to scale up. It was easier for him to actually work with the farmers. Another challenge with honey value chain is that you cannot keep a honey box in one area, which means if you're keeping it for 3 months in one part of the country, you have to move it to some other part, else the bees would move away. So it also requires working with multiple cooperatives, which means it actually has a potential of supporting multi-state cooperatives, which is also one of the things that the government is trying to do. And I think Honey Veda is trying to move in this domain where they are supporting cooperatives across the country in different states. So I believe that one of the ways by which agri-tech and agri-cooperatives, agri-startups can scale up is by working with the cooperative and the collective ecosystem. Now, going forward, my question to both the panelists, I think I'm asking a more of a general question. So the question is, what would an ideal startup, cooperative, and development institution partnership look like? So here, I mean, the development institution would be someone like NABARD or any other development organization. And then, how can cooperatives, startups, and development institutions come together to create an ecosystem which is win-win for all? So what do you think would be an ideal ecosystem? That is my question to Vikas. And again, I think we'll ask the same question.
Yeah, ideal, I don't know, but of course, in different scenarios, different models can be ideal. But what we have been doing and what we are looking for, like in last few years, like since the inception of this Ministry of Cooperation, Government of India, what we are doing, since PACs are important for the country because they are the only institutions available at ground level. So what we are doing, we have been strengthening PACs, we talk about technology, but then PACs, which are at the forefront of rural loan ecosystem in villages, so they were not computerized for so many years. So now NABARD has already taken up this task of computerizing PACs at a massive level. So that work has already begun. I think many of the PACs have already been computerized. So that is one thing. So once they are computerized, they are connected to the modern ecosystem. And at the same time, since yesterday also, there was a lot of talk about Sahkari. So for a district level cooperative banks, for a small cooperative bank, it is difficult to adopt technology at their level because of their scale and then because of course, cost constraint. But then technology is important. They have to compete with the big banks in the country, private sector banks and commercial banks. So through Sahkari, what we are doing, like we are providing that technology on shared level, so that cooperative banks are strengthened. The trickle down effect will definitely benefit PACs. So PACs are being strengthened on technology front. That is one part. Second is, we are also making efforts to transform these PACs into multi-service cooperatives. So other than, because they are already placed in the villages, they are already member driven. So whatever services are required at village level, other than credit, PACs should be able to provide those services. So for them, the effort is already on to make them multi-service cooperative. At this level, when a PAC starts delivering other services, so at that point of time, of course, the startup which wants to implement their solutions or even they want to test their solutions at ground level. So of course that PACs would be in better position to help them out and of course getting benefit from that startups and then translating that benefit to their members, of course. So from NABARD side, what we are doing, we are making it happen by strengthening PACs, by strengthening overall rural cooperative ecosystem. From other side, we are strengthening and supporting incubation centers so that more and more startup can come up. Yeah, that missing link, of course, that would be created in future. We are already working on that. That PACs, incubation center, FPOs, and startups. So that connect has to be made. Of course, that would be an ideal situation where that connect is well established and like well oiled.
So I'll just consider, because I've been in the space for long now, and what I've experienced is the ideal cooperative and startup juncture would be, because startups come with lots of solutions. And if I consider the example of Amul, which is based in Anand, then we know that Anand is a milk capital of India, being NDDB, IRMA, and institutions at their helm. I believe, if startups can club or try to work with cooperatives like Amul, they can bring lots of solutions for the farmer community. And since Amul has a, dealing in terms of transactions with the farmers where they have milk receipts, farmers can actually buy products in EMI where, the EMI can be adjusted through that milk receipts, and farmers can actually afford the products or solutions in a juncture where startup can get the business and, farmer gets a product, while milk unions or companies and organizations and cooperatives like Amul will also benefit farmers other than the milk value chain, because they are bringing solution other than the milk earnings, and also trying to benefit the rural household which is run by a dairy farmer or a women dairy farmer. And I believe this can be a win-win situation for all these stakeholders, because the startups are looking the audience for their innovations and solutions, and the farmers are also looking to have solutions which can bring savings or increase income for them. And definitely cooperatives like Amul will definitely now to value add other than the milk as a product for their farming community. So I think this can be an ideal scenario where we can see some pilots, pivots happening around, and maybe we can scale it up by the learnings which come in the future.
So I think we had some very, very interesting discussion on how cooperatives and startups can come together, where not only cooperatives, FPOs, SHGs, all the collective forms can come together with the startup ecosystem to create a win-win situation. I would just like to request Vikas ji to have some concluding remarks, and I think then we can close the.
Yeah. So just to conclude, like we mostly spoke about agri startup and packs, and then I think the fintech was also one of the key things that we wanted to discuss. So with as you talked about the ideal situation, so as I already said, of course, this convergence and connect between packs, FPOs, SHGs, and startups, DFIs, that can happen. That would be a good thing. Second is fintech, on fintech side also, because what is happening that packs have a very, very limited kind of business model on lending side also. So many fintechs are coming up. For example, we have funded one fintech, Advarisk. So why it is important? What Advarisk is doing, in our country, like in different states, land records are available in like vernacular languages in different forms, in different units are used. So what they are doing basically, they are extracting land records from different publicly available, I would say, platforms, and then they are transliterating it in a standardized format and providing it to banks, so that they can give. Banks are getting a standard data of a farmer in a standardized form, and that helps them like providing KCC and other form of loans to farmers. That is one part. Second is then there comes other aspects like I would say field level data through satellite imagery and all that. We are companies like Satux are working. So different startups who are working, somebody is working at fintech level, somebody is working at blockchain level, somebody is working at satellite level. We already have funded such kind of startups. If they can come together and they can be connected to ecosystem through packs or through FPOs, and then of course and develop a solution that provide you like end-to-end sort of thing, because what is happening right now, we are getting solution in pieces. One is having a single piece of solution, another is having another piece of solution. So this is maybe there may be effort from government side or from some institution side, or maybe some from big startup side, to connect those dots and then provide a end-to-end solution through using this cooperative network. That's what I understand.
Just wanted to add that access to credit, access to finance is the most important element for any farmer community or any even agri-tech ecosystem to thrive on, because solutions are there, audience is there, but you need access to finance if you want to buy such products. So I believe lots of startups will come in space where they will provide and subsidized way form of interest loans or some sort of credit, because we have priority sector lending in the form of Kisan Credit Card, as sir said, KCC, Farmer Finance, where farmers are using these services from the banks or the conventional NBFCs or rural banks as well. But I think there are no platforms which link these banks to the solutions, which is the startup ecosystem or any product side of it. And farmer is actually looking to access to finance, when he wants such products. So I think there would be some platforms coming in the future. We have some trials in the past, like Jai Kisan, who has tried, bringing access to finance for FPOs, and we have companies like Pahel Finance, who is working around the SHGs, bringing more affordable the loans for the farmers or FPOs to buy such solutions and products. I think lots of innovations will come in the ecosystem, but access to finance is definitely a core element where even NABARD can also contribute by creating a platform, bringing access to finance for especially people who smallholder farmers who wants to buy these products and solutions.
I mean, just to add on, what you have just said is actually happening. So there are enterprises who are basically bringing in blockchain to ensure that a farmer can get the loans seamlessly. And one of the startups is actually here. The name is What's Loan, and I think even World as well. So they basically use blockchain technology to ensure that farmers are able to get a loan seamlessly within hours, not days, within hours. And if that happens, this access to credit solution is actually coming in a big way going forward. And when Sahkari Sarthi and the other new organizations which are set up by NABARD, when they basically use technology to connect the cooperative banks to technology, I think the farmers would be able to get loan in a very short time. And I think that is the future. So I think with this, we'll not stand between you and your lunch. And I think we will stop here. Thank you so much for listening to us and look forward to more interactions. Thank you.